In both Marvel Rivals and Overwatch, there's always been a lot of friction in different places. Should there be role lock, which is better 6v6 or 5v5, skins are unethical, cringe and they killed my dog, all that sort of stuff. And one of these discussions is about support heroes and or players. We talk about a lot of different things, but supports seem to be the unrivaled king of controversy in the hero shooter space. In any hero shooter, it always seems to be the biggest discussion, talking about supports in some way, and the voices are loud on all the directions. Sure, there are bigger moments for DPS and tanks, but the size of the conversation, or the volume of opinions, is much smaller. From the pile of topics to talk about, support always seems to have a really sizable piece, and when we go there, usually it doesn't taste that sweet. You would think that people are more thankful for the players that keep them alive and going. They basically devote their whole game for making yours better. People are grateful until you get to a point. In Overwatch 1, back in the day, supports were like divine beings who granted you with the privilege of playing a game with a support. It was like a barren wasteland where the DPS is the sand, tanks were the occasional bush or a cactus, and supports was the water that everyone needs but no one has. People would praise you like a king and forever be grateful for your selfless act of choosing to play as a support. Until support got actually popular and people chose to play it on a daily basis without even touching the DPS or tank roles. All the praising and thankfulness turned into where the fuck are my heals, support is the easiest role of all time, supports are pussies, and that type of stuff. The support player base grew from an endangered species into an invasive infection. That was a joke, but the amount of people playing support grew, and in result of that, the respect support once held turned into negativity and hate. The DPS and tank mindset turned from, oh thank fuck we have a support, to, since we are losing this game, the only intelligent answer to that is the support differential, since they are getting healed so much, and I am not. That is what you want to say when you just got shit on as a DPS player because some sort of mistake that you made. It has become a stereotype at this point, usually a flanker whining about heals while they are 0 and 5, quote unquote trying to distract them. It doesn't go just for DPS. All the roles blame each other in game now, have been always, and will continue to do so for the rest of eternity. But from my perspective as a mostly DPS player, the biggest one receiving pointed fingers has been support throughout the 7+ years experience. So why? Why does support get so much shit thrown at them for usually just existing? Admittedly, I have experience in blaming supports when my team is getting steamrolled, especially when I was younger. I loved to just shout at my supports for not doing their job. But did I analyze the gameplay? No. Did I try to take the moment from my support's perspective? No. Did I even try to have a thought process about anything? No, not really. It comes down to shifting the blame on someone else, when I myself played like it was my first time. When it comes to most games, the reason people shout at their teammates is because they feel something negative about themselves. Every single person who has ever played a hero shooter has blamed someone else without really thinking about what the issue actually is, because it's not really about the issue, it's about letting some steam out. It is so much easier to blame your team when you can see yourself being dog shit. It's hard to admit, especially in the heat of the game. Obviously, there are games your team just sucks foot-long dick behind the back line, but most of the time, they probably are just playing their average gameplay, which by the way, got them into the same rank as you. It is not possible that you are so unlucky that in your game specifically, people always play like infants without arms. And even if that was the case, wouldn't that say a lot about you more than anyone? I mean, I don't know, I'm just throwing out some ideas out there, of course. Usually, it is the crying and screaming that gives your team a reason in the first place to stop trying because they aren't having fun anymore. The mute button is a powerful thing. Usually the ones shouting are the people who are talking so deep out of their assholes it almost makes me lose faith in humanity anytime I have the pleasure to hearing them talk. We have all had that teammate who literally one step at a time walks into enemy team or behind them and lectures you on how the team should go in with him. How many calls did they give you about their engage? Yeah, have a blast trying to calculate that. Supports are so easy to blame because of their job. It's so simple, right? Just heal your team and that's that. It is the easiest thing to do in the world, especially in hero shooters. Just sit your ass down and heal me. That sometimes is true. In some games you can't just sit behind the team and push down the heal button. And bada bing bada boom, you win. But unfortunately, that is not every game. The premise of support is easy, just heal your team. But you can say that about any other role as well. DPS just shoot at the enemy. and tank just make space. There is so much more than just do this and do that. Support in paper does have the easiest job to do usually, but that can switch in an instant. 1 second you're all fine, and the next there is a horde of ninjas trying to assassinate you. So what was a peaceful day healing your teammates turns into hide and seek with death on every corner. Support is the easiest role, but it doesn't mean the difference between the roles is that big. What I mean by that is the roles having similar difficulty scale, meaning the space to get value out of the role based on how well you play is almost the same. As with any role, support has a million different ways to improve and do things. Only the non-role specific ones like aim, positioning, game knowledge, timing are already important enough to justify supports having a high skill ceiling. Skill expression is very different based on who you look at. But when people say support are easy, it's usually not about that. People aren't talking about Loki or Lucio being easy. That title is more likely to fall on someone like Mercy, Cloak and Dagger, or Invisible Woman. What I personally think is easy about someone like Invisible Woman is the raw amount of healing and utility she has. For not that hard to hit shots, you heal a lot. On top of that, she has additional utility like double jump, invisibility, and a really big boom and an AoE damage circle. The easy part about this hero is the amount and efficiency of her tools. It just feels like this hero has so many levers to pull on when you play her. It feels like she has everything except damage. But do you really need that when you can blast heals like a maniac and in moments of danger turn invisible? And I didn't even talk about her massive ultimate. An ultimate type that Marvel Rivals support category is very familiar of. Huge AoE ultimate that is almost impossible to kill through. But it also makes you invisible. Yippee! All of these abilities and powers are pretty easy to use, and just doing something, you usually get a lot of things done. Shoot, use abilities, spam ults, and get massive amounts of value. It is easy to get value from, but it doesn't mean that it's not hard to play effectively or in the best way possible. On the other hand, there is the mechanical side of things. There is a picture of difficulty that everyone has about different characters in these games. You picture someone like Spider-Man or Genji as a hard hero to play, and someone like Jeff the Landshark and Moira being easy to play. Well, that absolutely is true. These heroes have wildly different ceilings in potential of power and expression, but it's not like the people getting into high ranks with these heroes aren't doing something exceptionally well. It's so easy to ignore the smart and good decisions they are making when they're playing an easy character mechanically. You can discard everything just because of the hero they play, and why it often feels frustrating for the supports is because they make good decisions, but that doesn't matter because they didn't get 3 kills on a Spider-Man ult. When DPS and tank players have the picture in their head that support is easy to play, and they don't play like rank 1 pros, it makes them mad because their role is easy and mine is hard. It's not fair. The mindset that tanks and DPS are allowed to make mistakes simply because they have more mistakes to make. And when support makes a mistake, yeah, let's skin them alive. What else would make sense in this situation? Some people think about supports as lounging parasites, sucking comp points from the actual good players in the team, and the whole mentality that I have to carry these brain-dead supports who have it so easy, getting into top ranks just by cleaning off the blood stains out of their teammates. The fact is, you don't really get to those high ranks by just playing a hero usually. There definitely are examples, but usually that's not the case. Usually the support plays just as well as you, but you just love to get the blame on someone else, anyone else but yourself. And more often than not, it falls to the support. And guys, please, let's not get it twisted. It goes both ways. Support players are capable of acting like entitled pieces of stinky poo-poo. It's not really about the role, hero, game, or anything. It always goes back to the individual, the person playing the game. That's why role wars are kinda pointless, because when we go deeper, it really isn't about this role or that role. It's about people getting salty in a video game. And the whole mentality of us versus them, DPS versus support versus tank. Can we stop? Let's not divide ourselves into these groups because that will never end well. When it's either you win or I win, when that is the format, nothing will ever be resolved, and we will spin in this loop for the rest of eternity. When I personally play supports, it does feel like my responsibilities are smaller than my teammates, and the things I stress about in the game are smaller than DPS. And on some levels, it is true. It feels easier to play supports. But that doesn't mean there isn't times I feel the complete opposite. I play like hell, hit every shot, and because I played so well, I won the game. Or games where I feel like my team is horrible and I have to play extraordinarily well to get a chance of winning. There is no doubt that it happens, but I can say based on my own experience that it happens less on support. I just feel like my responsibilities aren't as heavy and my job is easier. I don't know if that's the correct assessment, but that is my experience. What do you think about that? Is support easy to play, or is it more complicated than that? If you watched this video to the end, hit the damn button. Thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day. Bye.